Richardson Hitchins, IBF champion at £140 super lightweight, is taking on George Kambosos Jr., who has only had one fight at this weight class. He's usually at 135. When Richardson Hitchins won this title and called out George Kambosos, he was at lightweight at the time. This has to be a voluntary title defense. Now, the thing about this whole situation is Liam Paro, who Richardson Hitchins beat to get the title, won the title from a guy called Subriel Matias. And Subriel Matias, when he was the champion, Richardson Hitchins was the number one contender still. And at that point there, when Subriel Matias was champion, Richardson Hitchins showed a shook mindset, talking about, I don't think I'm going to go and fight for this title because it's hard to make the weight. I might move up. IBF have a £10 weight clause, next day weigh-in. I can't do it. I can't make it. I'm probably going to go up. The minute Liam Paro beats Subriel Matias, now Richardson Hitchins was Johnny on the spot. I want to fight. He's fought him. He's beat him. He's now the champion. And then he calls out somebody from a lower weight class. Now, that for me, I just didn't like that behavior. I done a video about this 6 months ago when Richardson Hitchins won this title, and they had a Twitter beef, which Richardson Hitchins started. It was ridiculous. It's in my video 6 months ago about when Richardson Hitchins beat Liam Paro. Now, George Kambosos, I don't see why he won't do it. It's an opportunity. He's an opportunist. Boxers are opportunists. You have a chance to make a good amount of money to fight for this title. You aren't even really supposed to be fighting for no title at 140. You've been beaten 3 times out of 5. You're coming off of a win, which was your introduction to the 140 weight class. No one really cares. George Kambosos made a name for himself by beating Teofimo Lopez and taking all of the belts that he had won from Vasyl Lomachenko, which was all the belts other than the WBC belt, which Devin Haney had. So then Devin Haney and George Kambosos was talking about they need to become undisputed. So that fight happened, and subsequently Devin Haney beat George Kambosos twice in Australia. Now, Teofimo Lopez should never have lost to George Kambosos, but he wasn't focused on the fight, so he lost. The situation didn't change though, because for me, George Kambosos isn't all that good. He's very much hungry, and he's very much a warrior, and he's very much willing to take on all comers, but he's not very good. And that's just the simple facts of the situation. So for Richardson Hitchins to be calling him out, I just thought it was quite ridiculous. But Subriel Matias and Alberto Puello, they're fighting for another title on the 12th of July on the undercard of that Balanga versus Shiraz card. So once that fight happens, if Richardson Hitchins does what I expect and win in emphatic fashion, really and truly try and stop this guy.
June 14th, I'm going to show him what his son should have done to George Kambosos.
Oh, shit.
What he did, it was cool boxing, it was whatever. But when I'm about to do this to one of his son's best wins, it's going to be nasty.
Wait a minute, I'm in trouble.
But if you win how you're supposed to win and then you're still the champion, once them two fight, you're either going to have to fight your number one contender, or these guys are going to want to unify. Someone's going to want to unify. And that's when we're going to see the realness of Richardson Hitchins. Richardson Hitchins is a protege of Floyd Mayweather. He used to be at Mayweather Promotions. They didn't get him many fights. He used to hang around with Broner and Gervonta Davis. So for the mere fact of that and the things that I've seen on Twitter, that just shows me that he's of them type of mindsets. Now, Floyd Mayweather did not ever become undisputed at any weight class. He may have unified a few titles, but he never had more than 2 belts at once. And he said later into his career, or when he retired, that why am I trying to be undisputed when I have to pay sanctioning fees for all of these belts? I don't need that. I don't need to be paying sanctioning fees to all these governing bodies just to be undisputed. I don't need that. I can beat this champion, beat that champion, move up, beat that champion and move up, and just keep on beating champions. But I don't need to be fighting a champion against champion and all of that type of stuff. I fight who I want to fight because I've made myself that name. And to be fair to him, he did make himself that name. And also, to be fair to him, he didn't start talking about this whole not wanting to pay for sanctioning fees until later into his career, or when he retired from the sport. But these fighters are talking about it now. So for me, I believe they were watching Floyd, or they had heard from Floyd, or Floyd may have even told them themselves, you guys have to be paying for these sanctioning fees, for these belts all the time. It's crazy work, man. It's crazy. These sanctioning fees is crazy. So for me, I can easily see Richardson Hitchins vacating the title before he has to unify with any of those guys and saying he's moving up to 147. Because he said he was going to move up years ago when Subriel Matias was the champion. So for me, it's an easy little sidestep for him to say, yeah, you know what, I don't even want this belt no more because I'm moving upstairs. I don't know if he's going to start talking about he don't want to pay sanctioning fees, just like Keyshawn Davis the other day. But I do know that he must have had them words in his head from the man like Floyd Mayweather himself, because he was not only his promoter, he trained in his gym all through his youth. He's trained with Floyd and Javante and Broner and all that type of people. And their mindset is just not for me. But I expect him to win this fight at a canter. George Kambosos, as I said, he's a warrior at heart, but he's just not that good. So Richardson Hitchins should display the talents to beat George Kambosos. I expect him to beat him. Definitely beat him by points. He might do a shutout, winning, 11 out of 12, 10 out of 12 rounds, maybe 12 out of 12 rounds. But if he was really that guy, then you should push for the stoppage and stop this guy. This is under the Matchroom banner. Richardson Hitchins has been signed by Eddie Hearn a couple fights ago. He signed to Eddie Hearn. He got this title fight because he signed to Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn, as we know, works closely with Turki Al-Sheikh. And Turki Al-Sheikh, the other day, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, he put out a tweet saying he does not want no Tom and Jerry. This is verbatim. He said, I don't want these Tom and Jerry fighters on my cards anymore. Rehab season is not catering to Tom and Jerry fighters where one fighter is running and the other is chasing. That obviously is a shout to pure boxers, these pugilist specialists, the William Skulls, the Devin Haney's, and Richardson Hitchins is also a pure boxer. So he needs to show and prove that he can actually put it out there and stop guys, or he won't be getting on these rehab cards and getting that rehab money. It's up to you guys. And when Turki Al-Sheikh told people that he doesn't want them Tom and Jerry fighters, people are talking about, oh no, you're telling people how to fight. No, we ain't telling people. This is what I'm talking about, this generation. Oh, how is he telling people how to fight? He said, if you fight like that, it's fine, go and do that. You're going to do that over there, but you're not going to do that over here because I'm not going to bring you on my show. And that's fine. Not everybody goes on Top Rank shows. Not everybody goes on Golden Boy shows. Not everybody goes on Matchroom shows. Not everybody goes on Queensberry shows. So not everybody is going to go on Rehab season shows. And he's letting you know that I'm definitely not bringing in any guys who likes to do the Tom and Jerry type fight. I thought that tweet was excellent. I loved it. Man said Tom and Jerry. Brilliant stuff. Yo, I like the Sheikh, man. I like the Sheikh. He gives me too much joke. But anyway, Richardson Hitchins versus George Kambosos Jr. It should be a mismatch. It should be one-sided. George Kambosos should not be able to do anything with this guy. But George Kambosos has made himself a good little living out of boxing, man. I rate him for that. He's made his money and he's going to make some more money on Saturday. But he's definitely going to lose, in my opinion. It would be nice to see him win and become a two-weight champion. It's good because I like him as a fighter. He's a warrior, but he's just not good enough to really challenge the top echelon of the boxing fraternity. And this is for Richardson Hitchins to show that he is of that top tier, even though he does do some funny maneuvers and funny ways of going about calling out fighters and stuff. Richardson Hitchins is from New York, and he will be fighting in his hometown. This is a hometown fight for Richardson Hitchins. A lot of the time, these hometown fights have some banana skin element to it. But he should come through, and he should come through in flying colours. So I'm going to predict that Richardson Hitchins is going to win by unanimous decision. That's what I'm going to predict. He should go in there and try and stop the guy, but I don't think he will. I think he's just going to put on a masterclass. But maybe he wants to show and prove to Turki Al-Sheikh that he can be an exciting type fighter. So I'm going to have to watch this space. But I'm sticking with my prediction. Win by unanimous decision over the 12-round distance, retaining his title, and still being the IBF champion on Sunday morning. That's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.